Not much of a writer, but I have to get some things down on paper before my brain turns to mush. Some of the important stuff is already gone. Can't remember what my own goddamn name is, for instance. It's gotta be something about this place. It messes up my thoughts. The only time I can focus is when I'm fighting. As soon as the fighting stops, it's like a fog rolls into my head. But I'll get it written down. I have to, for Annie and the kids. If I forget them, I'll never find a way out of this hellhole.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the captivating world of video games lore. In this series, we will be unraveling the intricacies of Quake's scattered story, one layer at a time. Before diving into the intricate lore of Quake, it's crucial to note the game's heavy inspiration from the Lovecraftian mythos. Understanding this will provide valuable context as we unravel the complex storylines and characters in our video series.
You get the phone call at 4 a.m. By 5:30, you're in the secret installation. The commander explains tersely, "It's about the Slipgate device. Once we perfect these, we'll be able to use them to transport people and cargo from one place to another instantly. An enemy codenamed Quake is using his own Slipgates to insert death squads inside our bases to kill, steal, and kidnap. The hell of it is we have no idea where he's from. Our top scientists think Quake's not from Earth, but another dimension. They say Quake's preparing to unleash his real army, whatever that is. You're our best man. This is Operation Counterstrike, and you're in charge. Find Quake and stop him. You have full authority to requisition anything you need. If the eggheads are right, all our lives are expendable."
This is the first paragraph of the game introduction. Short, straightforward, nothing too complicated before sending you into combat. Or is it? Let's go back in time. While the ensuing narrative primarily focuses on a character named Visor, it's crucial to delve into his story. Understanding Visor's journey and experiences provides essential context and depth to the events that transpire in Quake 1, allowing for a more comprehensive grasp of the overarching plot.
3 of our republics have elected ethnic nationalists. We project another 3 will do so imminently. Soviet control eroding faster than projections. We have fast-tracked Project Mountain King.
In the precarious climate of 1990, amidst the underlying tensions and the looming dissolution of the Soviet Union, Russian intelligence agencies, namely the GRU and KGB, embarked on a clandestine mission, codenamed Mountain King. Their objective was clear yet audacious: to engineer a super soldier, a symbol of might and resilience. This initiative was conceived out of desperation and anticipation as the agencies foresaw the impending decline of the Soviet regime and recognized the necessity for an overpowering force to ensure stability and influence in a post-Soviet world.
Prime's maturation complete. Telesthesia work in Leningrad was successful but will not be continued for cost reasons. We will not be replacing the 3 institutionalized researchers.
By 1991, their vision materialized in the form of Prime, a formidable genetic hybrid. Crafted through cutting-edge science combined with paranormal experimentation, Prime epitomized the apex of military prowess. While the specifics remain shrouded in secrecy, it's widely speculated that the paranormal experiments were bolstered by artifacts retrieved from the Vault, a secured chamber deep within the famed Hermitage Museum. Initially, Prime exhibited sensorial issues, likely due to the volatile blend of genetics and esoteric experimentation. Yet, through telesthesia work conducted on him, these limitations were successfully mitigated. With the Soviet-funded coffers depleting by 1992, further exacerbated by the broader economic challenges faced by Russia post the Soviet Union's collapse, resources became scarce. Furthermore, the agencies could not replace the invaluable researchers lost during Prime's creation.
Surviving paranormal researchers at St. Petersburg have been in covert contact with US scientist WG regarding a solution to the congenital sight impairment of the 20 clones of Iteration 9. He claims he can engineer full telesthesia in at least one subject, but he has 3 demands. All 20 clones delivered for experimentation, no oversight, and access to certain antiquities in Hermitage vaults.
His demands, however, were significant. But with dwindling options and the future of Mountain King hanging in the balance, they recognized that collaboration, even with geopolitically opposing forces, might be the only way forward. Upon receiving the 20 clones, Dr. Gilman immediately delved deep into his series of groundbreaking yet ethically questionable experiments. Not only did he replace parts of their anatomy with machinery and implants, but he also subjected them to paranormal trials, straying into the mysterious abyss of the unknown. One particularly chilling experiment showcases Gilman's audacious venture into uncharted territories. Having removed an eye from one of the clones, he prompted the subject to discern letters displayed in front of him. Remarkably, even devoid of his natural vision, the clone appeared to identify these letters. As the experiment progressed, whether by Gilman's influence or an innate trait of the clone, the letters began morphing into eldritch symbols, cryptic and reminiscent of ancient cosmic horrors. Yet, this venture into the unknown came at a grave cost. The sight of these symbols caused the clone's empty eye socket to radiate a blinding light, leading to the unfortunate being's demise. Gilman's cold commentary on the clone's deficiency in soul strength contrasts with his own unsettling behavior, notably his consumption of the clone's eye. The reason for such a grotesque act remains shrouded in mystery. Speculation suggests it might be a ritual to gain power or knowledge. Historically, eyes have been regarded as symbols of enlightenment, gateways to other realms, or reflections of an individual's core essence. Here, understanding the Eldritch, like Cthulhu or Shub-Niggurath, often comes with dire consequences. Could Gilman's consumption of the clone's eyes be a ritualistic attempt to accumulate enough power, ensuring that when confronted with these eldritch symbols, it wouldn't result in a fatal consequence for him? Or perhaps he ingests them in a quest to directly gain the capability to perceive these symbols himself?
Received a report of 11 deceased clones from WG's research. Progress evident in the one corpse he agreed to return, a steel visor grafted onto the face. Removal reveals full enucleation and unknown runes cut into the flesh around the ocular orbits. No evidence of a cyber-neural interface, but we found a film of decayed blood between the metal and tissue. Testing has shown this to be from an indeterminate number of organisms, some human.
Disturbingly, a thin film of decayed blood clung between the metal and the tender tissue, suggesting that the blood might be serving as a biological interface between the clone's body and the metal visor. The exact purpose of this visor remains shrouded in mystery. However, piecing together the evidence presented, it's plausible that the visor acts as a conduit, stabilizer, or buffer. Just as a lens focuses light, the visor could be concentrating the anomalous powers given to the clone, ensuring that they are channeled in a controlled manner. Without such a mechanism, the clone might be overwhelmed by his own abilities.
Do not request or accept any further material evidence from the American sabotage suspected. Multiple researchers report sleep disturbances and disembodied unintelligible whispers after examination of the remains. Redacted attempted to remove her own eyes. We will assume that Prime is the sole result of Project Mountain King going forward.
This pattern, where contact with otherworldly magic induces madness, remains a consistent and haunting theme in our narrative. As documented in Dr. Gilman's final report, out of the 20 original clones, 17 have perished, though their deaths or disposals aren't accounted for. Strikingly, 3 clones defy these odds, showcasing engineered sight capabilities that are not only paranormal, but far exceed the expectations set for them. These abilities, allowing the clones to see through nearly impervious materials, hint at a depth of eldritch power merged with scientific engineering that no one had anticipated. Diving deeper into this narrative, the identities of the surviving clones, numbers 8, 17, and 18, play pivotal roles. While number 18 is designated for reverse engineering, an eerie discovery shrouds this initiative in doubt.
Armored vehicle arrived. In the cargo area were 4 dead guards, 1 dead and 1 living Visor subject. When asked, the surviving clone said, "I killed them." On entering the St. Petersburg facility, researchers Redact and Redacted both fell into tonic-clonic seizures. Subject is too dangerous. I cannot risk further losses. We have scheduled euthanasia and will learn what we can from the corpse. Recommend you do the same. A document in Braille was found in a body cavity of the slain clone. Investigating.
Upon the arrival of an armored vehicle to the St. Petersburg facility, a scene of horror emerges. 4 lifeless guards accompany 2 clones, 1 dead and 1 very much alive. The dead clone is identified as number 8, whose body intriguingly harbors a message written in Braille. Subsequent events revealed that number 18 managed to escape the planned euthanasia. He then went on a frenzied rampage, eliminating everyone within the base. But why was number 8 on the transport, when only 1 Visor was explicitly dispatched for reverse engineering? Was he positioned there to monitor number 18, ensuring he didn't attempt an escape upon realizing his potential fate? Alternatively, number 8 might not have initially been part of the transport at all. He could have surreptitiously boarded en route. It's known that the clones become particularly unstable in the presence of their counterparts, driven by an intense need to assert their superiority and individuality. Did number 8 act of his own volition, or was he strategically placed there by someone else? Gilman, with his deep understanding of the clone's volatile nature when in proximity, could have strategically dispatched number 8 as a pawn to trigger the instability in number 18, ensuring the massacre at the base and obstructing any replication of his experiments. There's also a possibility that number 8 was sent along merely for observation and study. However, by positioning both clones in close proximity, especially within the tight confines of the transport vehicle, the handlers unintentionally fostered a volatile setting.
Post-mortem, Project Mountain King, 2 cybernetically enhanced soldiers with full telesthesia produced. 17 successful combat operations, casualties 616 civilians and 54 military, including the KGB-funded team based at St. Petersburg State University. Status: Soldiers Prime and Visor AWOL after 3rd Grozny deployment. Current whereabouts unknown. Contents of recovered Braille document recovered from TRAPDOOR suggest they are en route to a covert military complex in southwest USA. Goals unknown. We suspect operant conditioning by American collaborator.
As we near the end of this storyline, our understanding is as follows. Number 8 is dead. The status of number 18 remains uncertain, and both number 17 and Prime are believed to be en route to a covert American base, guided by instructions from a clandestine message. Interestingly, we encounter number 18 in Quake Arena as Gora. This raises questions. Did each clone possess a hidden message? If only one message existed, did Gilman intend for the clones to engage in a deadly contest, with the victor reaching the base? Was this a method to determine the mightiest among them? This sequence of events bridges to our next segment. In our upcoming episode, we'll dive further into this narrative, focusing especially on the audio logs from the base counselor at the facility where the Slipgate was being developed. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the lore. What are your thoughts on the video? Did we overlook any crucial details in the story so far? Do our hypotheses align with your interpretations? We'd love to hear your insights, theories, and reflections in the comments below. If you don't want to miss out on our exploration in the next episode, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for part 2, and thanks for joining us on this journey.